Breaking news here at 5. A hopeful Midwest has been let down tonight. DNA just confirmed that the person found in Kentucky is not the longtime missing boy, Timothy Pitson. As you know, for the last 24 hours, the nation has had all eyes hopeful on that years-old missing persons case, Timothy Pitson. Now the FBI has just confirmed, with the help of DNA, the person from Kentucky is in fact not Timothy. Now, we don't know much about who the mystery person is or why he's claiming to be Timothy, but we're receiving reports that Kentucky police are confirming an identity. Initial reports claim the mystery man is Brian Michael Riney. He's a 23-year-old man from Ohio. No charges have been filed against him so far. As we reported, that man, Brian Riney, posing as Timothy, claimed he escaped captivity in Ohio and ran all the way to Kentucky, breaking free from two men. Now, you'll remember the real Timothy went missing in the Wisconsin Dells Kalahari Resort in 2011 at just 6 years of age. He was last seen there with his mother after she pulled him out of school in Aurora, Illinois earlier that day. Now, his mother then killed herself in the resort and left a note saying Timothy was safe but would never be found. So for the last 8 years, Timothy has remained off the radar. That is until yesterday. Family had been hopeful.
He's alive and speaking, and that he told the police that he was Timothy Pitson. And that's all I really know right now.
And how do you feel about that? How do you feel in terms of your hope?
Well, I'm very hopeful that it's him and that he's okay and he's been in a good place when he was gone, that he's going to come back to us.
Now, a different tone from family and friends just minutes ago. After they heard the news, their long-lost Timothy is still nowhere to be found.
How did you guys react to the news that Aurora police is saying this was a hoax?
I don't think that anything involving a child is a hoax. It's devastating.
Yeah.
It's like reliving that day all over again. And Timothy's father is devastated once again.
Investigators say while the case will now focus on who this suspect is and why he's done this, they promise to remain dedicated to finding Timothy, saying he will not be forgotten. To our top local story now. Well, after months of construction, the renovations inside the People's Food Co-op in La Crosse is complete. Today, the store held a grand reopening, thanking customers for their patience and support. News 19's Jeremy Culver attended that ribbon-cutting ceremony. And Jeremy, what led to the renovations?
Well, Heather, the People's Co-op CEO Lizzie Hayward says while they wanted better aisle flow, customers actually gave a lot of feedback, sparking the decisions. Now, the renovation started last fall, and now customers can walk through the new space, and it includes a new hot bar, improved salad bar, and making checkout lines a little more handicap accessible, among other changes. Haywood says co-ops are designed with the people in mind, and the current location needed a little remodeling.
This is the first time we've done a major remodel in 15 years. So we have recreated the deli and redesigned the store to serve the needs of La Crosse, and we're ready to welcome everybody into the doors.
While the new location serves hundreds of people each day, Haywood says it's a reminder on just how far the store has actually come. Heather, when it started back in 1973, it was actually in the basement of a house, and Haywood says they'll continue to provide what residents need and take input on what they might want for the future.
All right, thank you. I did not know that it started in the basement of a house. All right, thanks, Jeremy. Now, the celebrations go on all weekend long. Folk music and square dancing go on tonight from 7 until 9, with all the proceeds from sales going to local charities. Also reopening soon, the Lower Hickson Trails. The La Crosse Parks and Recreation Department plans to reopen them this Friday at 2 p.m. Now, as you know, the trails have been closed to protect them from further damage after a very up and down early spring, leaving the paths at risk for long-term damage if they were used. Still closed the Upper Hickson, the Marsh Trails, and the Matthey Tract. Viroqua businesses are getting a helping hand tonight. Congressman Ron Kine announced a $2.6 million grant for the town to help protect businesses from future flooding. Now, that grant comes from the Economic Development Administration. The money will help expand the 70-acre industrial park, improving water infrastructure. Just last week, Arcadia also received a grant to help keep businesses dry. They were given $4.3 million. Well, Dan Breeden joins us now with a look at our first forecast. It attempted to sprinkle out there today. I don't know what happened.
It did from time to time, but the heavier rainfall has mainly stayed to the west, but it is going to drift through the area over the next several hours. So for this evening, we are getting wet. Looking at the latest flood warnings, the Mississippi, of course, continuing to run high. Flood warnings at Wabasha until further notice for moderate flooding. We'll say the same thing for the Winona area. Also at La Crosse, at Lansing, the flood warnings in effect for minor flooding until Wednesday morning. And at McGregor until further notice, moderate flooding is forecasted. Once again, we do have some rain in the area. We'll have to get through that this evening. There's another chance over the weekend, too. I'll have those details coming up in just a bit. Heather?
All right, thank you, Dan. The church is coming under fire tonight. 9 priests in Des Moines are accused of sexually abusing children. It happened between the 1950s and 1990s while they were working for the diocese, but 7 of them are dead.
There are 9 priests with substantiated claims. A substantiated claim is one for which sufficient evidence exists to establish reasonable grounds to believe the alleged abuse occurred. This is not the same as a conviction in the court.
Now, of the 2 priests named that are still living, one resides in a senior care facility. The other lives outside the diocese in southeast Iowa. Wisconsin is one of 2 states in the country without any laws protecting readers with dyslexia. Thousands of families hope to change that with 2 bills in the legislature. The first would provide the state with a dyslexia specialist to help the 30,000 kids in the state diagnosed with a learning disability. The other would be heard on April 18th, and it looks to create a dyslexia handbook for teachers and schools to use as a guide. Robots are taking over La Crosse this weekend. Yes, I said robots. 300 to 400 kids from 7 different states and some even from China will be competing this weekend with 3D robots they've created. The event is called First Robotics Competition, and it's free and open to the public at the La Crosse Center. There's a total of 52 teams, and you can see the students practicing their robots in test rounds here. The goal is to race and then pick up panels and attach them to their rocket, and those orange balls, they're the cargo. Now, Michaela, one of the competitors, says she's learning so much more than robotics through this competition.
I believe the skills that I have learned with fabricating, programming, and electrical and media marketing will help me greatly in the future. So I believe that these skills would benefit me greatly, so I really enjoy that part of it.
First is a nonprofit science, technology, engineering, and math organization that gives kids the chance to learn hands-on robotic challenges while learning the value of math and the importance of teamwork. Downtown La Crosse is about to get a bit busier for another reason as the first Friday of April rolls in. Now, the community is welcoming a new First Friday initiative to boost business. The First Friday initiative is as it sounds. It'll happen the first Friday of every month, and tomorrow just happens to be the first. Now, the event hopes to promote all things downtown La Crosse, drawing in more foot traffic to support local shops and restaurants, and even boost attendance to downtown events. The executive director of Downtown Main Street has her own way of celebrating Fridays downtown.
I love to come downtown on a Friday night for food, and so there's just so many just amazing restaurants available, and to go shopping. Now's that time of year when all of the new things have come out for spring, and so it's a great time to try on some new spring dresses or check out what jewelry is out, and so all of those things are things that I'll look forward to this first Friday.
Again, the initiative kicks off tomorrow, and you can find a full list of what's happening downtown at lacrossedowntown.com. Well, it's a special evening for 12 La Crosse area people who are receiving recognition for their contributions to the community. We're celebrating volunteer service during the annual Jefferson Awards banquet. News 19's Dave Solis at Piggy's in La Crosse, where, Dave, the official program isn't too far away from kicking off.
Yeah, you're right. Not too far away. We're setting up for dinner right now. That's the first order of business. A dinner honoring the people who do so much community service. And behind me, you might be able to see the podium and the screen. We're going to watch the stories of tonight's honorees, things they've done throughout the year in this community to make it an even better place. For that, they received something called the Jefferson Award, which has become known as the Nobel Prize for Community Service. We're going to try to walk a little bit closer to the camera here and show you one of the things they received for that effort. This is the Jefferson Award Medal. Now, we have one additional job tonight at Piggy's, and that job is revealing the name of the winner the overall winner, who will represent our area in Washington, D.C., where they have an annual Jefferson Award banquet every June. But the best part, Heather, and you know this because you're a big part of this organization, the best part of the night is we have all these people in the same room at the same time, and that makes for a wonderful conversation. And we look forward to seeing you down here, too.
Thank you for that, Dave. They always make you feel like you need to do a lot more, and that's what the Jefferson Awards are all about. Thanks, Dave. Now, if you know someone who goes above and beyond to help others or sees a need and acts, please consider nominating them. You can do that by going to our website, WXOW.com, click on the community section. That's at the top of the page, and then click on Jefferson Awards. Coming up, struggling and flooded farmers just a few states west are getting a helping hand to stay afloat. Plus, you may have noticed a few people out trying to find a catch right on our local bodies of water. Does the flooding hurt or help? We'll find out straight from the source next.
You're watching News 19 Live at 5 with Heather Armstrong and Chief Meteorologist Dan Breeden. Live at 5 continues right now.
Farmers are still struggling after historic flooding, and now the Nebraska National Guard is even pitching in to help. Reporter Andrew Ozaki shows us the unique way they're delivering much-needed supplies.
They're going to roll one out right about now. There it is.
Historic floods lead to historic missions for the Nebraska National Guard.
It's something that's been done before in the Army, but never here in Nebraska. This is a new one for us.
Troops from Grand Island's Bravo Company of the 135th use Chinook helicopters to deliver hay to cattle, who either can't get to the feed or the ranchers can't get to them.
It's pretty muddy, and then I bet you this is the bridge. It's not certified yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't even walk over that.
So far, the Guard has flown 5 missions over the past week. Monday, it was to this farm south of Scotia in central Nebraska, and then to a cattle operation east of Columbus.
To keep the bales intact, if we can, we choose to land. So on this one, there's actually enough room for us to land.
All of the hay has been donated. Ted Swafford drove 3 hours from Plainsville, Kansas to deliver 10 bales of sorghum from his neighbors. They call their effort, fittingly, Hay from Heaven.
It's kind of a pay it forward deal.
This producer didn't want to go on camera, but says he is grateful for the help. Another family brought a big box of chocolate chip cookies out to the crew.
I'm born in Nebraska, farm and ranch kid, so to be able to help out in this ways, it hits home a little bit for me too, understanding that the need they have.
The National Guard picks up donated hay at drop-off points located around the state. Farmers and producers must contact their county emergency management office to qualify for that assistance. Well, not too far from our news station in La Crescent along Highway 14, there have been local fishermen trying their luck to catch popular wild fish like perch and walleye. And today, 2 locals caught some perch. One local says the reason why this is a good spot to catch fish is because bait fish like to hide in the shrubbery close to the sandy bar. That's reason for them to hide from bigger fish like walleye.
Walleyes, they're the best out there. Hopefully I catch a big one. Just see people here all line up earlier in the morning. It's got to be a good spot. Well, there's a lot of people here, hey, yeah.
If you're interested in fishing, you can go online to learn about Wisconsin's fishing rules and the season's updates. So we had some sprinkles today. It didn't amount to much, but will it happen overnight? Will we get more?
Yes.
Okay.
Mainly for this evening, though. I think it's been running into drier air. Otherwise, it could have gotten just a little bit heavier. But I do expect it for this evening, dropping back to drizzle and then maybe some fog a little bit later on. I'll have details when News 19 Live at 5 continues.